This is Late Night Health. This is the radio show that cares about the most important part of your life, your health. During the next 2 hours, the insane Daryl Wayne and I are going to talk about a wide variety of topics that touch each and every one of us. We're going to be talking about mental health. We'll be talking about stuttering, both of those in hour 2. We'll start this hour talking about how trauma can affect you. And this is real trauma, folks. I mean, evil trauma. Robert Clancy will be joining us. His book, The Messenger, has just been in pre-release the last couple of hours. All that and more. We're going to go up to the great state of Maine. And I can't figure out how Dr. Judy Stone landed there, but we'll find that out. She's the author of Resilience, One Family Story of Hope and Triumph Over Evil. Dr. Judy, welcome to Late Night Health.
Well, thank you for having me on, Mark. I appreciate that.
My pleasure. I have to start by saying you are a physician. You specialize in infectious diseases. I think you should be working on something that can make me taller and have blue eyes. And you're a Forbes Pharma and Healthcare contributor, former Molecules to Medicine columnist for Scientific American. All around, she is a very smart woman, right?
I would imagine that's true.
Right. And where'd you go to medical school?
University of Maryland.
Oh,
did a couple of years in Rochester and West Virginia, and then set up solo practice for 25 years.
In Maine?
No, in Maryland. Western Maryland.
Got it.
3 hours from an airport.
Yeah, exactly. What part of Maine are you in?
We vacation in Mid-Coast, Maine.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. So you don't live there full time?
No.
Oh, all right. Good. Because sometimes they don't have electricity, you know. All right. Sorry. I have some.
Neither did my family.
Oh. Well, let's talk about that. You're the daughter of Hungarian Holocaust survivors, and you've written a book talking about the trauma that caused. Everybody knows about World War II, about the attempted eradication of the Jewish people, amongst others, but predominantly the Jewish people. I have family who died in the Holocaust. It resonates with me. Growing up, what was it like with your parents having suffered untold tortures?
Well, they didn't talk about it. As I'm sure you know, many of the Holocaust families wanted to protect their children and go on and pretend to have normal lives. So while they talked about it amongst themselves, they didn't share that with the kids, not wanting to traumatize us. But we still felt it. We knew that there was something wrong. You can't hide that.
Did you ever, maybe as an adult, sit down and say, Mom, Dad, what was it like?
Yes, I began, but I was well into an adult. I was in college when my mother first told me that she'd lost a baby in the ghetto, and that for me was one of the worst stories that she ever told me. She didn't talk much about the details of Auschwitz until the end of her life, and none of them really got into the brutal details. So it was only after she died, that I listened to their tapes from the Shoah Foundation, that I heard some of the incredible brutality that they had endured.
The Shoah Foundation, we should describe that.
It's an oral history foundation that in 1995 or so interviewed survivors throughout the world to record their stories for history. And you can access them online or at some of the libraries in major cities.
I think the one of the purposes of the foundation is never again.
Right.
Right? It's if we learn about the past, we hopefully won't make the same mistake again.
That would be true, and that's part of what prompted me to push to really finish the book was the divisiveness in our country since 2016. Now, another thing that prompted that is my Aunt Kitty, who was the youngest. She had to hide that she was Jewish from 1947 when she came to the U.S. until 2008 because her husband made her promise that she would never tell anybody in Iowa that she was Jewish or had been a Holocaust survivor.
Oh, my.
And yet she reinvented herself in 2008, and now at age 95 is thriving on doing Holocaust education throughout the Omaha area. It's really stunning to see that transformation.
How does it affect you? When you heard about this, I mean, did you go, whoa? Was it like being splashed with ice-cold water?
You know, you're horrified hearing what happens to your family. Watching those tapes and reading more about the Holocaust and immersing myself in it, which I had avoided because, you know, it's such a frightening, horrifying chapter in history. But immersing myself in it helped me realize how remarkable my family's story of their resilience was, and appreciate why they had some of the quirks that they did, or weren't, you know, had some rough spots. And actually, when you go ahead.
What kind of quirks?
They weren't very demonstrative people, but some of that also came from their upbringing. And actually, when you joked about the village without electricity, one of the things that they said helped them survive Auschwitz was that they grew up in a village without running water, without electricity, and had to work very hard, especially because they kept kosher, which meant that they had two sets of dishes and had very, you know, as you know, had very strict dietary requirements, which made all the work more difficult. So, as Kitty says, you know, that helped prepare them for surviving the rigors of the concentration camp. And if you were used to tea and crumpets, you didn't live.
Do you have children?
Yes, I have two. You
have two. How has their grandparents' lives affected them? And they may not even have met them. That's a possibility. But it seems to me that's got to be, that trauma can be passed down generation to generation.
It absolutely is passed down, despite our efforts not to. For example, when my son was born, I was fearful about anti-Semitism, and I chose not to have him circumcised so that he would be able to hide that he was Jewish if he needed to be. When my daughter was in high school, she gave a talk about her grandmother's experiences as they were studying the Holocaust, and the teacher said, asked the students to write an essay on how to prevent this from happening again. And one of the students actually wrote down, "There's nothing wrong with killing Jews."
Oh my God!
Yeah, and the school didn't do anything about it, and the rabbi didn't do anything about it.
But today they might have. They should have. Our
yes,
guest,
maybe.
Right?
Go ahead.
Our guest is Dr. Judy Stone. The book is called Resilience: One Family's Story of Hope and Triumph Over Evil. You know, we all suffer some kind of trauma, a car accident, the loss of somebody in your family or a friend, being diagnosed with a disease. But that's all godlike, if you will. You know, it's. I think in insurance terms they would call it an act of God. The evil from the Nazi Empire was certainly not godlike. It was not an act of God. How do you get over that kind of trauma, or do you never get over it?
I don't think they ever entirely got over it, but they went on to live normal, productive lives. They went to school, they worked, they raised families. They tried to do good things in their community and teach their children to do good things, which is why there are a number of people in various caring professions among the children of my family. So that's I wanted to leave a legacy of that resilience and caring and prevent people from doing this again to other people.
We're going to take some time out, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation. You can go to Amazon, I'm sure, and find a copy of Resilience, One Family Story of Hope and Triumph Over Evil. This is a must-read, folks. It truly is a must-read.
And proceeds go to Holocaust education.
Yeah, we need to do it. It touches my life, and it should touch everybody's life. All right, we're going to take some time out. When we return with Dr. Judy Stone, we'll continue our conversation. Tune to latenighthealth.com, and we will return. Take it away, Daryl.
You're listening to Late Night Health with Mark Alyn. The show continues in a moment.
Welcome to Guide to the Soul. This is Robert Clancy. You are a beautiful masterpiece of celestial art. God sculpted your body, painted your portrait, and forged your blessed soul from the stardust. As with any masterwork, you may weather with age or get damaged a bit along the way. But doesn't that add to your beauty and mystique? Don't ever change who you are. You're loved and cherished in heaven just the way you are. Of all the challenges you've faced in life, you can be only made better for them. The greatest masterworks on earth have all been ravaged by the tests of time, only to become more revered in their inherent beauty. Always know you're one of God's masterworks meant to shine in that same way.
For more inspiration from Robert Clancy, visit guidetothesoul.com or go to the Moments with Robert page on latenighthealth.com. Recently, I met Jacqueline from Bright here in Los Angeles. She gave me a hearing exam and then showed me how to hear again with the new Signia Pure Series hearing aids, and she can give you your life back too. I hear birds chirping, birds cooing, and even my wife. They easily connect to my smartphone. The Signia hearing aids are amazing, and with the charge and go, I don't have to fiddle with batteries and hear all day long. Not hearing is frustrating for you and your family. I know you don't have a problem, but trust me, call Bright Here now for a free hearing exam, a $125 value, yours free, just for making an appointment now. There are offices throughout the Los Angeles area. Call Bright Here now at 323-424-7100. That's 323-424-7100 for a free hearing exam. There's no obligation. Call now, 323-424-7100, or visit them on the web at brighthere.com.